Hey everyone, and welcome back to the How Scandalous Media podcast. I'm your host Alana, and in the middle of writing a post about the beef between Justin Bieber and Usher and how it is suddenly becoming sort of public with them fighting at Beyonce and Jay-Z's Oscars after party, when I decided to sit down and make a quick solo podcast episode about this, give you guys my quick thoughts, because we are people who have been hearing about the story of Justin and those who allegedly abused him for the better half of a decade now. I want to say the first time I ever heard of Justin possibly getting abused was in 2017. And what's funny is that it was not about Diddy, it was about Usher. And so ever since that, I've been looking at Usher in a very negative light. And to see the whole thing come up with Diddy and people thinking that he did something to Justin and nobody was bringing up Usher's name, I made sure to write a post back in December 2024 when I finally was ready to reveal the information that we'd been getting since 2017. And here's what we said. So let's first talk about everything that happened. If you guys don't know, back when Justin first started, he was becoming so big that two mentors fought over him. Those two mentors were Justin Timberlake and Usher. Ultimately, Justin went with Usher, and they were pretty close throughout the years. But then, as more abusers were getting exposed in Hollywood, people started to question if something happened to Justin and if the adults in his life protected him or not. This comes from all of Justin's weird behavior as of recently. For the past few years, Justin has been ranting on Instagram about all of the ways he reels from trauma, and some of the things that seem funny to us is actually Justin acting out as a traumatized individual, as he's been saying recently. And so with the way that Justin has been acting and moving and the way that abusers in Hollywood keep getting exposed, people can't help but think these two are connected. And the reason why people can't help but think that is because Justin is maybe 5 more Instagram stories from saying, yes, this is all connected. He has been pretty vocal about feeling a lot of hate, feeling a lot of hurt, and how fake Hollywood is, and how he was not being protected by anyone, by his parents, by his management, by now Usher. And I feel like it won't be too long until he maybe continues to talk, if he can. So Justin and Usher have a very intense argument at the party. To the point where sources have said that people at the party noticed that they were having a heated exchange. And apparently, according to sources, it was extremely close to being physical, and the only reason it did not turn into a physical fight is out of respect for Beyonce and Jay-Z hosting the party. That is how much tension is between those two, that it was about to be physical. And the only thing that stopped it from being physical is just, hey, we're at a party with a bunch of A-list celebrities, so I'm not going to make this any worse than it already is. So the sources tell the media that Justin is trying to erase everyone in his past that did him dirty, with one source claiming that Justin has always been rude to Usher, though. While other sources in Justin's life say that Usher never protected Justin in the music industry and doesn't feel like he owes him anything. Daily Mail sources also deny that Justin was disrespectful in any way, and that Usher is taking Justin's behavior as disrespect, but it's probably just him feeling guilty or ashamed about what went down between him and Justin. Justin distanced himself from Usher, who he believes didn't protect him. It's also worth noting that Justin met Diddy through Usher. Usher feels like he played a key role in JB's start and doesn't like the fact that he's being brushed off now, while Justin, as we've said just 5 seconds ago, is trying to distance himself from all those that used and abused him. Justin even declined to do the Super Bowl with Usher, and it was reported that Usher was more hurt than he led on, feeling extremely disrespected by him declining to do the Super Bowl, with sources close to Justin saying that if he's going to do a Super Bowl, he'd probably wait to be the main performer. The last time Justin and Usher were spotted together was at a lake in Idaho in 2022. Now, one thing I want to talk about real quick is that in December of 2024, we did a Dark Hollywood tell-all reveal. And there was a bunch of people that were in this post, but one specific story we decided to finally tell was the one with Justin and Usher. So basically we say, and I'm gonna read it for the first time. Yikes. I'm trying to find it. Okay, number 5, right? I started off saying, oh Lord. This tale is as old as time, and it was something I was told way before the idea of sexual abuse was normalized in Hollywood the way it is now. We were at a New Year's Eve party in New York City a while back, and it was one of the fancier parties we've attended throughout the years. The conversation takes a turn, and suddenly we are talking about a huge A-list pop star and his behavioral issues. According to some people at the table, it wasn't all that shocking that this person was having multiple midlife crises after what he had been through. Perked at the subject of interest, we asked them what they meant. Knowing the background stories of this person meant that we obnoxiously thought that they were wrong in what they were saying. The person spills, and it's a story so horrid we block it out. One day, I finally get the courage to ask our source about it, and my source says that the story checks out because of what they have heard/known from the LA scene, but cannot confirm it. As time goes by, the story begins to formulate in the public eye. So here it is. This huge pop star had many hopes and dreams to make it big. The parental figures in his life were lacking, and he was being spoken about as a sacrifice rather than a human being. The person gets introduced to a couple of powerful men in the industry who help him map out his career alongside his management team. Suddenly things go from nice and friendly to dark very fast. He starts being abused by said mentor. The abuse goes on for a few years, seeing as it started very early in his career. He is so confused and ashamed, he hides the secret. They tell him that he must never tell anyone or else bad things will happen. They also tell him that this is what they're supposed to do to make him successful. Everyone owes someone something in this world to make it, is what his mentor said. Paralyzed by fear and betrayal, the pop star starts to act out. But why? He's so young, the media complained. Well, it started at a very young age. By the time he was a legal adult, he was extremely damaged mentally. Everyone betrayed him, from his parents to his girlfriend to his friends. So he takes part in the usual tale of being a douche to prove that he's a man, and getting involved in serious drug use to forget everything, because that's what happens to the used. They go through a series of time when they're confused and hate themselves for letting things happen. He has been clocked out mentally for a while now. Trying to rehabilitate his mind and his life, he seeks the pleasure of a normal low-key life, but he still struggles. He struggles with drugs, anxiety, nightmares, and a decade's worth of trauma. Now his name is being tied down to a monster, and he hates it. He genuinely hates it. He couldn't muster the energy to rationalize whatever happened to him as a child, and only very recently did he start to acknowledge it to close friends. Now that the world is playing detective, suddenly the story is so easy to see, but in 2018, it was genuinely the worst thing you could have ever told me. Now, I cannot for the life of me remember if this was 2017 New Year's Eve or 2018, but I think it was 2018 New Year's Eve. I think 2017 had just passed, right? I think it was New Year's 2018 so early in 2018 that my brain keeps clocking it as information from 2017. But either way, story still checks out. Sometimes I'll write this was told in 2017. Sometimes I'll write this was told in 2018. But I also do say I can't really remember because this is a story that was not, there's no text messages. I was being told this in real life. So then obviously, here's the disclaimer that neither me or my sources can confirm the validity of the story, but my sources are saying with what they do know, that is most likely what happened. My sources say it's one of those like word on the street in Hollywood type of situations, but that they cannot fully tell me, yes, this is what happened, but they genuinely do believe it. From what they know, this makes a lot of sense. And so when I first heard the story, I was like, no thanks. And I just kind of ignored it for a little bit because I was extremely shocked, and it was also at a time when we were just scratching the surface of dark Hollywood, so it wasn't normal for me to hear this much about celebrities. But as I continued to hear more from sources and it started to become more of a public thing, it was easy for me to wrap my brain around, oh, this can literally happen to every celebrity we have been talking about, and it's not a rare case, if anything. This also does go hand in hand with everything that Justin is saying now. He was doing an interview with Apple Music, and he ended up crying about wanting to protect Billie Eilish. So obviously, this reaction out of Justin caught the media's attention because he's talking about wanting to protect another newbie in the industry who's having a very fast rise to fame, and he starts to cry. It makes everyone take a step back and think, well, that's a very interesting reaction. I should probably focus on that. And Justin says that him wanting to protect Billie Eilish comes from the fact that in the beginning of his career, everyone told him they loved him and how much they cared for him, and they all turned their backs on him in an instant. He was saying that he doesn't want to be overbearing to Billie, basically hovering over her, but he did make it very clear to her that if you need someone's help or if you need someone's advice, I'm always going to be here to listen and give you advice. So with what the media is saying now about Justin and Usher, is that Usher was not protecting Justin, and he wasn't also protecting Justin financially, because Justin and Scooter Braun have had their issues, but their main issue stems from Justin not completing the Justice Tour in 2022 and basically owing Scooter Braun a lot of money because he didn't complete it. And all the people who invested in this tour now are looking at Justin and Scooter like, well, you owe us because you're supposed to give us a cut after the tour's finished, and he doesn't finish the tour, and we've spent all this money, so now you owe us. And in a way, Justin also owed Scooter. For respect to Justin and how Scooter always looked at him like a son, he didn't pressure Justin to pay him back, but he did make it known, like, you owe me a huge chunk of money. I think I have to search up how much it is. I think he paid him like $30 million, or they like settled on $30 million, which is insane because I know the amount was bigger. Scooter's company, Hybe, had to pay the tour promoters and basically cover his debt. And apparently he owed $31.5 million, which includes $26 million for the tour and $5.5 million in unpaid commissions. And they finally reached a settlement in July 2025 with Justin paying Scooter $31.5 million. I think he did pay him then the full amount. Point of the story is I have a lot of mixed opinions about Justin and Scooter's relationship because in a way their relationship was extremely genuine and it was giving father-son duo, but with that much money involved, I don't know. And I do know that Scooter's extremely greedy when it comes to money, but he did actually care about Justin. But when it comes to his coin, he will do God knows what. So I guess that's part of their beef. And Usher and Scooter Braun are extremely close, having met in the early 2000s and even opening up a record label together. It's called like Braun Usher record label. I'm doing all this off the top of my head. Yes, it's called Raymond Braun Media Group. And it's an American record label founded by Usher and Scooter in 2008 as a joint venture. So they're clearly very close. And sources are saying that them being really close bothers Justin because if you cared about me, Usher, you wouldn't be that close to Scooter. And Scooter, if you cared about anything more than your dime, you wouldn't be that close to somebody who allegedly hurt me. That's also what sources are saying when it comes to Justin being very pissed off at Usher. It's interesting to see that time always tells all. And boy, have we waited. Justin having beef with Usher is on my 2026 bingo card, just like it was on my 2018 bingo card, and so on. I believe Justin is finally in a place where he can accept what happened rather than pretend nothing happened and just continue bottling up all his hate. We've made a video about Justin and how the industry that raised him didn't protect him. And I think you guys would really enjoy watching it because we go through all of this. We talk about stuff Justin has said. We talk about his mental health. And it really makes a lot of sense when you start to look at Justin's story from start to finish rather than just looking at him as some douche who doesn't want to play paparazzi games. So just decided to make this quick podcast episode. Tell me guys your thoughts down below. Tell me what else you guys think is going on with Justin. Who else is he gonna publicly cut out of his life? And we can discuss more in the comment sections below. Make sure to check us out on our other social medias if you want more of the story. We do have a post about this. We have the post from 2024 if you want to read more about what happened. And if you just want to read about Justin's story overall, we have been covering it for about 13 years now, I think. 16, I don't know. Somebody do the math. 2013. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.